Hello, welcome to this movie, and this time I will show you how to fuse multimodal images with the Imalytics Preclinical software. So let's load an image example here from the File menu, Fusion. Let's hide the segmentation for now. So what you can see here is an underlay and an overlay. We can toggle the overlay here and toggle the underlay. And let's look at it in 3D. Yeah, let's change the overlay windowing a bit so we can see it better. So what we have here is basically two data sets of a mouse, and the mouse is in a different position in each, and you would like to fuse them together now as close as possible. So to achieve this, we can use the fusion module, and you can perform some manual registration by adjusting the translation, for example, of the overlay. So currently it is just 0, and let's translate by X a bit, and you can see here that it shifts already in the right direction. Let's go a bit further and maybe shift a bit in Z also. Oh, the wrong direction, -1. So you can do this to get it a bit aligned, but a more elegant way is to use markers. By the way, what this fusion does is it adjusts a transformation. You can check it here. It is changing here the translation, so it's not changing the actual voxel values, or it's not resampling to a new grid. It just changes a geometric translation. Here you see the values that we just entered, 2 for X and -1 for Z. So let's apply markers, and you can do this in 3D or in 2D. Here we can go to a knee, for example, here, and place a marker. Well, let's do it in 3D, that's easier. So let's hide the overlay and we just place markers here. Add marker 1. Here, add marker 2. And here at the elbows, add marker 3. Add marker 4. You can add any number of marker, and you can see them here in 3D. They have different colors. So now let's place the same markers in the overlay, but for that it is helpful to toggle the rendering of the overlay to show an isosurface, and let's change the windowing a bit so it's similar to the underlay. So now we have we are showing both overlay and underlay as an iso rendering, and that is easier to place the markers. And in the markers menu we have to tell it to accept markers on the overlay now. So again we place markers here, marker 1, marker 2, marker 3, and marker 4. Let's toggle the overlay rendering again as before here, and now we can click Fusion Register Overlay to Underlay based on the markers, and as you can see it's transforming the overlay, and now they are very nicely aligned. And again, what it changed here was the translation, but not only that, here the translation also it's changing a rotation, which is encoded here as a 3x3 rotation matrix. So this is one way to fuse if you have marker positions. You can also use the mousepad maybe. Here the mousepad has holes, may be useful in some cases. And in other cases it may be better to perform fusion based on the image properties, which you can do with these here. But let's first reset the overlay transform again to where we started, the identity transformation. And now you will need a segmentation to restrict the image region where to fuse it. And you can draw a region with the scribbles around the mouse, for example, like this here. And with F3 you can connect it. But we already have one, we have loaded one here. It's this big region which does exactly this. So it's restricting the fusion to the mouse. Alternatively, you can restrict it also to the mouse bed or use the whole image space. So when you have defined that, you can click Fusion, Register Overlay to Underlay Image-Based Course, and it takes a few seconds, and it's telling you the result and the root mean squared residual of the registration. And as you can see here, it's a very nice alignment. And this course segmentation is relatively fast. It tries a few variations and picks the one with the best score. And when you have done that, you can fine-tune it using this menu item for a fine registration, and it will approve the current fusion. It's computing again for a few seconds, and then it will show the residuum. That's even slower, and now the fusion is even better. You don't even see you barely see the overlay here because it's kind of hidden through the underlay. And here you can see the result of the fusion, so overlay and underlay are now pretty much on top of each other. So what can we use this for? Let's load a organ segmentation here, activate it. So this is a segmentation based on the underlay that was generated. And now you can use this menu item segmentation, transfer segmentation to overlay, and that is, then you can save it somewhere, and it's transforming the segmentation from the underlay to the overlay voxel grid, and then you can process the overlay with that segmentation. So you can close the program, load the overlay as underlay, and load the new segmentation. And this allows you to transfer segmentation, maybe an organ segmentation, from one mouse to another, or from one time point to another, or you can transfer the bed segmentation, which is also useful in some cases, also from different scans. Okay, I hope this helps, so thank you and goodbye.